Everybody, this is Fernando. I talk about F1 a lot on this channel. Hope you are all doing great. Today's video is all about to let go of the boredom of the off-season of Formula 1 actually. I try to watch almost every movie or series about Formula 1 or motorsport in general after the season, and so I can make this video. Some of them are still missing, and of course there are some probably series and movies that I missed out in general, not just finding time to watch, but I try to gather as much as possible and as different as possible, so I will share all those with you today. So in this meantime, like, there are almost less than 2 months to start a Formula 1 season, so you can watch this series and enjoy your time off season of Formula 1. And let's go for this Formula 1 and motorsport related series and movies together. The first one I want to share with you is The Art of Racing in the Rain. It's a movie and I love that so much. Actually, my mom suggested this movie at the first time and she was like, yeah, it's a racing movie, you will love it, it's so cute and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, my mom found the racing movie before than me, and that was a movie that I never heard of before from anyone. So it was a shocker, but when we watched it with my husband, we loved it. It's more about the personal life of a driver actually, which gets into you. At least it got into me, like, in emotional way. It's a tough job to be in the racing because you sacrifice lots of stuff for the love of that sport, that environment actually, and it shows the part of it from the eyes of a driver. With his relationship with his family and his racing career, and it's starting from the USA but it's ending with Formula 1 somehow. You have to watch it. I watched it through iTunes actually. I rented it, I guess. You can find there, but there are like this movie rights or this documentary rights always changing from country to country. Like, some of them can be found on Amazon too in USA, but you can find in Europe. So you have to check it for yourself, but wherever you can find, just watch it. You will love it, trust me. And the second one, probably you know this, but I can't miss this in this title of your video. I can't miss that. It's the man I'm wearing today, Ayrton Senna's documentary. I watch it again and again every time when his birthday or when it's like the death anniversary of Ayrton Senna. I try to watch it again and again, and still every time I cry after this documentary. I think it's really emotional and really shows how passionate Ayrton Senna was, if you ask me. Of course there were some bad reviews about it because, like, they're showing Alain Prost, the bad guy, and Ayrton Senna as a hero, but still, like, it's showing lots of stuff. Like a person like me, like, I was born in 1992, so it wasn't even possible for me to watch Ayrton Senna live as racing. So this kind of documentaries gives the idea what happened that time, and when it's done right, like Ayrton Senna documentary, it's really nice. Knowledge-based documentary actually. Again, I'm saying it can be like subjective time to time because it refers to specific person, specific driver. So in the end, praising Senna on a Senna documentary, which is not so bad. So you can just watch it like knowing like this is Senna documentary, so of course they are like praising more Senna, and you can just watch something else about Alain Prost or read about him and watch the old races. You can get your own critique in the end about that area. But if you ask me, I love them both. They're just super drivers, like, but they are different personalities. So I love them both, even though I'm wearing Senna's shirt today. That doesn't mean like Alain Prost was the bad guy and stuff like that. But like, if you haven't watched the Senna documentary, just stop watching this video and go watch that. Like, that's the fundamental documentary that you have to watch from this list, I think. And let's get to another legends, Niki Lauda and James Hunt, like the Rush movie. This is not like a documentary, it's a full force Hollywood kind of movie, which I like a lot. I think the racing stories are made for this kind of action movies, that it fits together. Of course, there are some kind of overtelling in this kind of movies, because it's a movie. In the end, you have to give the action, you have to give the beautiful people or like beautiful areas, you have to more and more. I mean, at least in the Hollywood style, that it's always that kind of movies that does the show. So it's something like that, but again, I think it's giving the soul of the racing, that area, like the personality of James Hunt and personality of Niki Lauda and their personal life and stuff like that. I think they're telling those in a good sense. But if you haven't, just go watch that also. This one is probably the newest one of this list, the Schumacher documentary, which was a big pretty deal when it came out, and it was on Netflix, so they did a big promo on it from different countries, so everybody was kind of aware of this documentary. Even people who don't watch Formula 1 so much, I think, watch this documentary, because it to me, like, especially in my country, in Turkey, like, people know Schumi, even they don't care about Formula 1 so much. Like, if you ask them Formula 1, they will just say Schumacher. That's it. Like, they don't know anything else, but they know how good he was, how he won again and again. So that's why it got lots of attention. The documentary involves his family, Mick Schumacher, Gina Schumacher, and his wives, and so it's coming from them. So that's why everybody was so curious what they're gonna say, what they're gonna tell, how it's gonna be. And of course, I watched it like the first evening it came out. I like it, but I didn't love it. Like, hope you don't hate me for it, but there was so little footage of Schumacher, first of all. And they used it again and again and again and again. I didn't got bored, but it was like I was expecting more special footage, maybe, or more like from Formula 1. They could use more of the stuff, all of those footage, all of that big career. I'm sure they could find more from him. That was the disappointing part. Emotion part of the documentary was not there. It didn't hit me from the heart, but maybe that was the thing they're looking for. But because the Schumacher family, I felt like they want to just show their head high, and they were looking strong actually after all those happenings. So maybe they want to show that in that documentary. So I respect that, and I still feel lucky to have that kind of documentary. Now we come to the list of Motorsport TV, which is my company. So I kind of bit favoring maybe, but I will do it because I kind of like the content in there. You can just check it out. There are lots of stuff going on Motorsport TV, but I will give you the like documentary part of it. And this one, I don't know if you can call it a documentary, but it's kinda, I guess. It's called Motorsport Heroes, which like has that kind of emotion that I'm talking about with Schumacher. It just hit me here. I just love it, and I wasn't expecting that. I didn't have that kind of expectation for that, but just blew me over. I love it. It's from the 5 great drivers of motorsport actually. One of them isn't there, but it's Mika Hakkinen, Tom Christensen, Michael Mouton, Felipe Massa, and Michael Schumacher's motorsport careers from beginning to kind of an end, or they're just current status right now. They're just, every of them knows each other, so it's kind of really close scene with them. They're just talking about their careers, how they started, how it's going. Of course, Schumi is not there, but all of them, the 4 of them, know him well, so they talk about him too. Please just go watch it because I love that, and it's really different angle, just directly from the drivers. and it's really honest one. The second one is super duper documentary about MotoGP, actually, Unrideables. There are like two of them, Unrideables 1 and Unrideables 2. I just loved it. I'm not a super MotoGP fan at all, but even if you don't, just it's the action, that how they were driving those motorcycles in that time. I just can't believe it, because it's from 17s and 18s of MotoGP, where everything wasn't all about safety. I'm not advocating that, but like it looks like very exciting but very dangerous. That's why it's called Unrideables. Actually, it's amazing how they can ride those. I say drive like that's Formula One talking. Anyhow, that's like how they can ride that vehicles, like amazing. Go just watch it. It's so much fun, and there are lots of like old riders on that documentaries. If you love MotoGP, just it's your thing. You have to watch it. Even if you don't like, that's again, it's nice to see the different angle of the motorsports world. It's Riding Balls of Fire. It's about the rally days, old rally days, which is again crazy. No safety at all. They were crazy back then. Like, I call crazy even the current drivers, because they're just putting their lives every time they get on the car or the motorcycle. But back in days, like, oh my god, like safety, like everybody was like, what's that? I haven't heard of. Like, that was a kind of documentary. If you're looking for the rally, you have to watch that. Next one is Williams documentary. I think I watched it on YouTube, which is, I don't know if it's legal or illegal, so I can't like give you advice to go watch there. Maybe you can find somewhere else, but I couldn't in my like country restrictions, and so I found it on YouTube and I watched it there. And it's a documentary about Williams as a team and as, of course, a family. Especially after the loss of Frank Williams, it hit me hard with that documentary. It's really good. It's really deep dive. And I think it's like underrated documentary, because I haven't heard of from lots of people that like they watched it or not. It's really nice documentary, and it's actually from the book. So you can just read the book instead, or you can just do both if you know more about Williams and Frank Williams' life. It's really tasteful and full of knowledge kind of a documentary. It's really shame of me that I watched the Fangio one this late, because it was really tasteful documentary about Fangio, and it was on Netflix. And in Europe edition you can find it, but I think Amazon also have it. Like, again, like just Google it, you will find your location one. But like, it's, of course, it's a bit like not so detailed one, because there are not so much footage from that time. But there are other drivers talking about Fangio, even like Sir Jackie Stewart in it, and the way he talks about Fangio, you can just believe it, because Sir Jackie Stewart himself is a legend. And a legend talking about another legend, so which is like legendception or something like that you may call. It's really, I'm mad respect for Fangio. It's a really nice documentary, again, if you wanna see like one of the first Formula One champions ever. It's really must watch. Another one, I think it's also staying in the shelf with the dust on it, and I don't know how it stayed like that, because it's Fernando Alonso's special show with 6 episodes, I think 6. It's on Amazon, and as a like personality, Fernando should like promote it like crazy, but he didn't, and it deserved that promotion. Like, it shows you how determined, how confident Alonso is. Of course, you know this. You don't need to watch that movie or series to know all of this about Fernando Alonso, but it's really nice to see how he feels. And it's from the time, actually, Le Mans time, so when he was like, didn't race for Formula One, and he raced for every kind of series other than Formula One. And it's amazing to see how his time in WEC, in IndyCar, in USA, so it's different stories, and it's like he wants that like triple crown. Of course, who doesn't want that? And when you that close, like Fernando Alonso. But it was really nice to watch that story. If you have the Amazon, just watch it, like when you're eating or something like that. In a week, you will finish it and you will love it, and you will thank me if you haven't watched it, of course. Mclaren, it's directly Mclaren. It's the story of how Mclaren found in back in days with Bruce McLaren. I think the story is. I realized that I don't know about that much McLaren before watching this. It wasn't the perfect documentary. It wasn't so quality one, but still, why I'm saying this, the story is amazing about Bruce McLaren. It's really tragic, but it's an amazing storyline. And they took it and they didn't play it with that much. It's nice again, like to know the story of the McLaren and Bruce McLaren and his family. So it's another one that you can watch for the history of the sport. And another movie. This is not from Formula 1. This is from Le Mans 24 Hours. I'm learning Le Mans just step by step. I'm getting used to it, but I'm already like in kind of enchantment by the history, by the magic of Le Mans. And Ford versus Ferrari, it's another like Hollywood type of movie, and you have Matt Damon, you have Kristen Bell in this one, like, so this is like super duper Hollywood movie with super duper actors, like handsome ones, I have to say. 1966 Le Mans, it's a super story. It's one of the like amazing actionable years of Le Mans, and they're just putting the effort and wishes and drive to get that Le Mans winning car feeling so well in the movie with the super actors, because again, like Matt Damon and Kristen Bell are like very talented guys in their field, so that's why the movie is really amazing. So again, it's a Hollywood type, but if you haven't watched it, that's another one that you must watch. Like, this is probably, you shouldn't miss this one also. Hope you like this video. I think it's the only video that I spent that much time on a video, because I watched all of these documentaries except for a few, so it took a lot, but I want to just finish it in the end before the season starts, so you can just spend your time more motorsport, more Formula 1 in different angles, not just Drive to Survive. And I know some of them are cults. You can say cults in the motorsport world. So you probably seen them, some of them at least, like Senna one or Rush or like that. But hopefully I found some stuff that you haven't watched, heard, or maybe you heard but you forgot and stuff like that. So you just can check it and enjoy like I do. I'm sure like you will love almost like 80% of them, and you will like the rest of them. Like there's no like there's no one that I watch and like, oh, I waste my time. That every one of them was really fun and really feed me in a knowledge base. So hope you feel that too. Hope you have that experience too. And as always, if you like the video, like it down below please, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That's how you can support my efforts in this channel, of course, if you like it, and you don't miss my videos and next videos. And if you have any movie suggestions, comment down below, or if you want any different videos that you want to see on my channel, again, your comments are always welcome. See you on the next one.